San Diego continues to grow in size and population, and all of that growth can hurt the environment. So last fall, Mayor Kevin Faulconer released a plan for how the city will tackle climate change. As it stands now, that plan has several ambitious goals. One, to change the way people get around. Right now, 87% of San Diegans commute by car. By 2035, the plan hopes that will drop to 50%. That means the number of people taking public transit will go from 10% to 25%. The number of people who walk to work will go from 1% to 7%, and the number of people who bike to work will go from 1% to 18%. Two, to have 100% of the city's energy come from renewable sources by 2035. That means solar power, wind power, and hydropower. Three, to install 30,000 electric vehicle charging stations by 2035. The plan also wants 25% of cars to be electric by then. Four, to have 90% of our garbage not going to the Miramar landfill. That means it would be recycled and composted instead. Sound like a lot? Faulconer recently told KPBS Evening Edition he is confident the city can do it.
It's important, and I know we can achieve those goals. I know they'll be, won't be easy, but at the same time, when we look at the world-class leadership we're doing already on solar energy, just as one example here in San Diego, we can build upon that.
But the plan isn't final yet. It'll go through a long review process where it could be changed. Nicole Capretz is worried that might mean the ambitious goals will be scaled back. So a few months ago, she started the nonprofit Climate Action Campaign to be a watchdog over the process.
We want to make sure the city keeps the climate plan as ambitious as it is right now in its draft form. And I think that's going to be really pivotal because there might be some interests that would like us to water down the plan. And so I don't know who those interests are, but given past history, it seems like that's a possibility. So we'll be watchdogging to just sort of make sure the city stands its ground and the mayor stands their ground and the council stands their ground and stands behind this amazing, groundbreaking climate plan.
Capretz is one of 2 paid staff members and is funded by grants and private donors. She didn't want to say who. She's been meeting with community and business groups to explain the climate plan and ask for their support.
But I think it's important for you to know that the city doesn't really have a plan to figure out what we're going to do when sea level rises. What's going to happen when the flooding starts coming through the convention center and into the Gaslamp Quarter? What does that mean for your business?
Capretz made those comments to the Gaslamp Quarter Association's Hospitality Committee. The group's co-chair, Nathan Wing, liked what he heard.
Based on her presentation, I think it's a cause that we can get behind as long as we get the board support. But from what I saw personally, I think it's definitely an interesting thing to talk about. And it's definitely things that businesses can benefit from.
And that's Capretz's goal, to get as many smaller groups as possible on board with the bigger climate plan.
An example is that part of the climate plan, of course, is figuring out how do we provide transportation alternatives other than the automobile. So the fact that we can say, hey, the larger context for the reason why the city is looking at transforming our streets so that they're more people-friendly is not just because there's a specific developer who wants and needs to just put in bike lanes to get maybe a green certification. We're actually doing it because it makes the community healthier, it reduces our carbon footprint, it provides alternatives. Millennials seem to want a different kind of urban experience. Like when you put it in that larger context, I think people, again, see things differently and are more open-minded, maybe, potentially, when the city or a private developer comes with a project and could see it in that larger frame.
The climate plan also could involve something even more ambitious. It's called community choice aggregation, which could change the way the city gets its energy. We'll explain it more in part 2 of this story next week. Claire Tregesser, KPBS News.